Hello everybody, Tytar Jr. Today we're going to be doing a tutorial video on how to do quests, quest completion, quest updates, pretty much everything quests inside of Warcraft Reforged editor. So if you guys are new to the channel, definitely check out some of my other videos because there's a lot of Reforged content. Some of my custom maps are on here, lots of tutorials, and I've got other gaming content as well. So now that we have that out of the way, I want to start off the video with a showcase so that way you guys can see what exactly we are going to be doing. And also at the bottom of this video in the description, you're going to find that the map has been uploaded for you guys. So that way you can download it, review it, and take a look at the stuff on the back end once we're done here. So I'm just going to go ahead and select my spell. And I'm going to run up to this guy right here. Hello, Paladin. I need you to retrieve the orb of poison from a nearby town. It's infecting villagers. Okay. So quest started, save the villagers. If we open up quests up here, the main quest is called Save the Villagers. Find the orb of venom. The villagers are being poisoned. Save them. Okay. So we're going to run down this way, and we're going to see if we can save these villagers. Well, I see a little town, and I see an orb of venom. Step 1 complete. Step 2, return to quest giver. Let's go ahead and look at the quest. Find the orb of venom has been completed. Return to quest giver. Okay. So let's go ahead and do that. Excellent work. Now we must save a sorceress. She's trapped behind a locked gate. A gnoll has the key. Slay the gnoll, get the key, and bring her back to me. So I got some XP for doing that quest. Quest complete, save the villagers. Quest started, save the sorceress. So under Save the Villagers, we have Return to Quest Giver completed, and the whole quest is completed. So now we have Save the Sorceress, Find and Slay the Gnoll carrying the key, acquire the key. Okay. Well, let's go and look around this map a little bit. So if we run over here, I see a gate, and I can't attack it. I'm assuming, because I made this map, that my Sorceress is going to be back there. So I'm going to go up this way, and we're going to throw down with these guys. Okay, and now there is a sun key. Step 1 complete. Step 2, locate the sorceress. We will open up quest up here, and let's go over here. And again, I'm just going to drop the key so you guys can see how this works. I showcased that in a different video as well. Now that I'm holding the key, I walk up to the gate, it opens right away. Step 2 complete. Step 3, return to quest giver. So this is completed as well, return to quest giver. So we're going to run both of us back. Now we're going to go up this way. Well done, you have saved the sorceress. Got some XP for turning in the quest. And complete. So here we are now looking at the map that I made in the editor. So let's take a look and see how exactly this was made. So we're going to go ahead and open up our trigger editor. And the first trigger we're going to look at is what's called initialization. This is what happens when the map initially loads. So under events, we have map initialization. And what that means is when the map loads and when it boots up, this is going to happen as soon as the game loads. The first thing I have it do is lock the camera for player 1 red to the paladin. Paladin is here. That's why you saw the camera sticking to my guy as I was running. We're going to go back here. And then we're going to set the visibility to initially enabled visibility modifier for the player 1 red, which is the main player, emitting visibility across the playable map area. Now, these steps aren't necessary for quest giving. It just makes quality of life a little bit better as you're playing your custom game. But yours could be different. And then we're going to make the gate invulnerable. So that way a player can't run up and just, destroy the gate instead of completing the quest. Okay? And so now we have what's called Quest 1. It is enabled and initially on. And under events, the event that I chose to make this work is a unit comes within 250 of the Blood Mage. The Blood Mage is this individual right here, and that's the one I selected. The condition. So if you guys don't know how this works, we have event, condition, and action. An event is something that happens to trigger an action. If there's a condition, it's basically saying what condition has to be met in order for the actions to take place. Otherwise, I'm not going to follow through on these actions. That's what a condition is, okay? A condition right here is the triggering unit. That basically means the unit that's triggering the actions to take place. So in this case, the only controllable unit right now is the Paladin. You will want to specify, actually it is specified right here. I'm just saying, for your map, make sure you specify the type of unit that's triggering the event, because otherwise you'll have a rabbit or another player controllable unit that's getting in the way of your triggers and stuff. It's a big mess. So the triggering unit has to be equal to the Paladin, which is this guy here. Otherwise, we cannot do these actions. So we're going to pause all units, and then we're going to order the triggering unit to stop. Well, the triggering unit is the Paladin, right? So we're going to order the triggering unit to stop. And what this does, essentially, because we paused it, but when we unpause the units right here in this line, what's going to happen is if I right-clicked here, but my guy stopped here because that's the range of 250, as soon as he unpauses, he's going to start running again, and it's super awkward and clunky. So that's just a quality of life thing to make it easier on the player, for sure. And you can always rewind the video and see how that played out at the beginning of this video. So then we're going to send a transmission. So cinematic transmission from unit is how we got the Blood Mage to talk. So we're going to send a transmission to all players from the Blood Mage named Quest Giver, or whatever you'd like, and then it says the whole line right here. And I set it to 7 seconds with a wait. And all that means is it's going to display the message for 7 seconds and then wait 7 seconds to then follow through on the rest of the actions here. So then we unpause the units so that way we get our control back. Then we're going to create a required quest. It's titled Save the Villagers, right? The description, the villagers are being poisoned. Save them. And you can choose whatever icon you want. I just, choose the icon. Does not matter for what this quest is. I just chose the poison one, right? And then we're going to create a requirement for the last created quest. And so all you type in is the requirement. Find the Orb of Venom. Then we're going to turn on Quest 1 Turn-In, which is this guy here. And as you can see, it's not initially enabled. The reason why we don't have it initially on is because, imagine this, if we had this turned on at the start when the map loaded, a unit comes within 250 of the Blood Mage. Well, what's this one back here? A unit comes within 250 of the Blood Mage. And then it's also saying the Paladin and then the Orb of Venom. You could theoretically, come down here, pick up this Orb of Venom without even talking to this guy, and then come back and then proc 2 triggers at the same time because they were both turned on at the same time. Because it's asking you to have the Paladin and for him to have the Orb of Venom in his inventory. So that's why I have this turned off, and it's required to have him pick up the Orb of Venom before that trigger even turns on. So without getting too confusing there, let's go back here. And then we wait 1 second, and then we create a quest message. That's the little text that pops up on the screen itself, and then it says something. Quest started, save the villagers. And then we did quest discovered as our option there. And then we turn off the trigger, because if we don't turn this off, then every time we come back and talk to him, it's going to play this exact thing over again. So we have to turn it off at the end there. Okay. And now one that is initially on is pick up Venom Orb. If the Paladin acquires an item, and now that I think about it, I could create an issue if he just chose to skip past this. This is just an example, so it doesn't necessarily matter. But it's initially on, and the Paladin acquiring the item, and then Orb of Venom is equal to the item being manipulated. Basically what that means is when responding to uses / acquires an item / loses an item. So event response, item being manipulated. So what that's saying is when the paladin acquires an item, well, what kind of item? The orb of venom right there. Then I can follow through on the actions. Hopefully that's making sense. So then we have these different quests right here. So we have quest displayed to all players, quest update, step 1 complete, step 2 return to quest giver. And what this does is just like before, it makes the message pop up on your main screen. So that way the player can see without having to open the quest log where they're currently at in the quest line. And then we're going to mark the last created quest requirement completed. So that's going to make the requirement we made before, which is go get the orb, complete. And then once it's complete, at that point, then we can go ahead and create a new quest requirement. Return to the quest giver. Okay? And then we turn off the trigger, because otherwise, if you have some player who's trying to exploit broken things like that, they can drop the item, pick it up, drop it, pick it up, drop it, pick it up, and then it refires this over and over and over and over. Okay? So quest 1 turned in. Now, let's see here. Quest 1 turn in. Yeah, so we turned on quest 1 turn in back here. Quest 1 turn in basically says if we enter 250 of the Blood Mage, we're going to do an if then else statement. Now, an if then else statement is pretty much an event, condition, and action tree. It's pretty much the same thing, but it has a lot more flexibility. So, if all conditions are true, then do actions, else do else actions. So, under if, this is just condition. I have selected, so condition. I chose and, comma, multiple conditions. This means that multiple conditions have to be met in order for the actions to fire. If I chose or multiple conditions, that would mean this or this can take place, and then these actions will happen. I chose and, so two things or multiple things have to all be met in order for the actions to take place. And why that's important is because if the triggering unit is a paladin and the triggering unit who happens to be the paladin has the orb of venom equal to true, then we follow through on the actions. Otherwise, if you're not holding the orb of venom, the quest giver is going to, mark it as completed when you don't even have the orb with you, so it doesn't make sense. So you want to have the and, so that way those two conditions have to be met. So then we do the same thing. We pause all units. We order the triggering unit to stop. You guys already know how to do that based on the previous triggers here. We send a transmission. Excellent work, yada, yada, yada. Save the Sorceress. You guys can, read that on your own time. We unpause all units, and then you can add however much experience you want. So you have set experience and add. Setting experience will set it to a certain threshold based on wherever you want to set it to. Adding experience is what I chose because you don't want to set it to a certain amount. I'm sure that already makes sense, but if you set it to a certain amount and the player is higher than that, you could have them lose XP for doing a quest. So adding experience only adds to that. So I added 120 and then mark the last one completed, complete the display. So this is the quest message, the message that pops up to the player without having to go in to look at their quest log. Quest completed, save the villagers. Okay? Mark the last created quest requirement as completed. That's huge. And then create a required quest title titled Save the Sorceress. And then the icon, you guys already know that. Creating a quest requirement. So that's for the quest log. It's for the last created quest, because notice how this is like a timeline here. So we created a new quest, and then we marked the last one completed, and then we created a quest requirement. So that's the order in which we did things. So therefore, the last created quest is, the one that just got made. So then we turn on quest to start. So then we add a 1 second buffer because these things fire instantly. And so this is just to add a little bit of breathing room for the player. And then we do quest discovered as the sound for a quest message, and then quest started, save the sorceress. And we turn off the trigger so that way we can't just keep doing this over and over and over. And then else do nothing. So basically what happens is this. I'll give you the breakdown. Some of you guys may understand this already, but for those who don't, it might look kind of complicated. So I'm going to simplify things. So we have if, then, else. So if the condition is met, which is it's the paladin, and the paladin has the orb of venom equal to true. So if those two ands are met, then do this. Now the trigger is saying for else, well, what else do you want me to do if those conditions aren't met? Because I need to do something. That's what it's asking you. It's saying I need to do something if those conditions aren't met. I'm telling it to do nothing. So if those conditions aren't met, if it's a different unit entering, or if he has a different item as he enters, don't do anything. So it will not proceed without that. Okay? So then quest 2 start. It's not initially on, and then it does get turned on once you complete. So it's requiring the player to complete these in a certain order. So the paladin acquires an item. The item type of item being manipulated. Now remember, item being manipulated is referring to acquires an item, loses an item, things of that nature. So item type, the type of item being manipulated is equal to a sun key, which, if you look, unit, I have him dropping this null, I have him dropping the sun key. So he's for sure dropping the sun key. As soon as the paladin picks that item up, we do quest update for a quest message. Step 1 complete. Step 2 locate the sorceress. And then mark last completed quest requirement as completed. And then we have create a quest requirement, find the sorceress. Turn off this trigger. And then we have open gate. So this trigger basically is saying when a unit enters this region, because there's only one region that I've got, and the entering unit has the item of type sun key, then open the gate and then turn off the trigger. So that way it's not reopening every single time that unit enters that region, because it'll reopen over and over. It's kind of weird looking. And so without the key, it won't open, because guess what? We have an event, and the condition is if he has the key, open the gate. Okay, and then I have this unit, which is the sorceress, on team 3. And if you take a look here, player properties, my team 3 is rescuable. So when they're rescuable, that means you walk up to them and they join your team instantly. So when the sorceress is rescued as an event, there are no conditions. So it's saying if they get rescued, just fire the actions. Display the quest message, quest update, step 1 complete, step 2 complete, step 3 return to quest giver. And you guys kind of know the drill at this point. Mark the last one as completed, create a new quest requirement, and it says return to the quest giver. Turn off this trigger. Quest 2 turn in. A unit comes within 300 of the blood mage. I increased the range on this one instead of back here where it was 250, because I have the triggering unit as the sorceress, so it's not the main player. It might be kind of annoying having to get the sorceress to walk even closer, so I increased the range, right? Pause the units, send the transmission. You guys know how that works. Unpause all units, add 300 experience to the paladin, show level up graphics, mark is complete, blah, blah, blah. Wait 4 seconds, and then victory for player 1. So once you complete those quests, it's victory for player 1. So I know you guys have already seen this, but now that we've come this far, I'm going to go ahead and play test it again. That way you guys can see, okay, I saw it the first time. We went ahead and walked through all the triggers, and now we're going to play test it one more time so that way you guys can really see how it's playing out. Okay, just here for one last final thing. I need you to retrieve the orb of poison from a nearby town. It's infecting villagers. Okay. Complete. There we go. Got some extra XP for doing that quest. Just so things go faster. Excellent. Got the item. Now we need to find the Sorceress, which was down here. Excellent. Here we go. And turn in. Well done, you have saved the Sorceress. Awesome. Victory at last. So guys, I really hope you enjoyed this video. Please give it a thumbs up if it was helpful. Comment if you have any questions on anything Reforged related. Now, I would love it if you guys would take a look at some of my other videos. I've got other Warcraft Reforged videos. I've got really, really cool custom maps that I've made that I'm also currently developing. I would love for you guys to play test some of those things. Again, in the description, you've got the link to this exact map if you want to play around with it or use it as a template for your own games. So that way you guys can actually look at how things are set up. I know this setup isn't perfect because there are certain things that you can exploit, like going around certain things. I just wanted to get the basics down so that way I can get this video out for you guys because I get a lot of questions about how to create quests. So until next time, guys, I'll see you guys later.